Hello, Hawks! It's good to see you again. Before you begin on your artwork, I'd like to give you a few reminders about our artwork before we begin. I just really want you to remember that you may use whatever supplies you can find around the house. Use your imagination. Maybe there's something that I used in the video or in my example that you don't have at home. What could you use to substitute for that art supply? Is there something in your home that I didn't use that would be more fun? You're welcome to use any supply that you and your parent or guardian decide on. Second, I want you to know that you do not have to do this artwork all in one sitting. Usually in the art room, we have multiple classes or a few weeks to finish these artworks. So if you don't complete your artwork, or you think it doesn't look perfect, or you just need a break, you're welcome to walk away from it and come back another time. Please remember, these are learning enrichment activities. They don't have to be complete. They don't have to be perfect. I just want to give you guys the opportunity to take a break from your screens and learn by creating something wonderful. And most importantly, have so much fun with these art challenges. First grade, here are our learning goals for this lesson. Your IB connection is staying the same after the last lesson. It is still sharing the planet. Earth's resources are shared by living things. Our learning target for today is that today I am learning the difference between foreground, middle ground, and background. Our artist of the day is Winslow Homer. He was born in 1836 and he passed in 1910. He was an American artist who was a landscape painter and printmaker, and he was home taught. If you look in the center, you will see a photo of one of his famous paintings. I want you to look at this photo and ask yourself a few of these questions. First, what do you see in the background? The background means the way back of the photo. So what is as far back as you can see? What is behind the main thing in the photo or in the image? So if we look at the background, we're going to look along this horizon line, and what do you see? Do you see this boat? This boat is in the background. Now the background is what's in the far back. So what do you think middle ground is? The middle ground is what is in the middle. So in the middle between the background and where you, the viewer, are sitting or standing, we see this boat. This boat is in the middle of the painting. It's not the furthest back, but this boat is in the middle. The foreground is what is at the very front of the painting. What's closest to us? You might be tempted to say it's the boat, but look in front of the boat. We have some waves that are in the way. Do you see the waves that are in the way of our middle ground boat? Those waves are in the foreground. Here's a question I'd like you to pause the video and think about. What kind of animals might live in this environment? For your artwork today, you will need some kind of drawing tool, scrap paper or recyclable materials, and your imagination, and you may use glue for this project. Here is your art challenge. I want you to remember the animal that you drew or sculpted last week. I sculpted the tiger, if you remember. Then I want you to think about, where does it live? Well, I did some research and I learned that tigers are usually living in jungles or forests in Asia. So I made a forest for my tiger to live in. And I want you to make a collage of your animal's environment. Try to include something in the foreground, middle ground, and background. So if you look here, Mrs. Brothers painted her background onto a piece of cardboard. What do you see in the background? I see some trees and some bushes and a path leading to the background. In the middle ground, that's where I put my tiger. And I also added a bird, and I added a smaller bird to go in the background. So middle ground, background. And then I created a foreground by making some plants that I put on top of my tiger. The reason I made glue optional is you can just layer these things on top of each other, but if you want them to stick, you can glue or tape them down. Finally, I'm asking you to reflect and share. Once you're done making your artwork, I'm wanting to challenge you to reflect on your artwork. You may do so with these two choices. You may either be a risk taker and take a photo of your artwork and share it on our Seesaw share space, our Seesaw Specials share space. If you click here, it'll take you straight to Seesaw where you can sign in and upload a photo. Or you can answer these questions on your own. Before you go, I just wanted to take a second to talk about the supplies that I used for this project. I actually didn't use a piece of paper. I used a piece of cardboard from a recyclable box. And I had a little bit of white on the side, so I decided to paint. You could use crayons, markers, or you could do a monochromatic artwork, meaning that there's no color and it's just black and white. That might be really cool. What I really want you to practice with this artwork is to think about where your animal lives and think about the background, the middle ground, and the foreground. And maybe if you have some extra time, think about how all these things in this beautiful, rich environment are shared by the animals that live in it. How does the tiger and the bird share this space? How do the animals and plants in your image share the space? I hope you had so much fun creating your art piece, and I will be so excited to see you next Wednesday. Miss you guys so much. Have so much fun with your e-learning this week. Talk to you later.